I'm a second year master's student for information management program. In last semester, I took IST 654, that's system analysis, which I found really interesting. And I would really recommend that the class for anyone who aspires to be a business analyst. I also took IST 634, that's network security, and it was a really in-depth class for someone who wants hands-on experience in network security field. So those two classes I found real. Currently, I'm working at ITEL, and we have our own data center. So with this, with this job, I get to have a lot of hands-on work experience on actual servers. And I think it's gonna help me tremendously because I'm interested in having a job of a system administrator, and that's what exactly we do over there. Plus, we are working on VMware technology and virtualization, which is really upcoming field. So that's gonna help me a lot. I would say a lot of courses in iSchool are. They're a blend of technology and management, so they are not really hardcore technical course, and students should be really aware of this fact because they're gonna have to do a lot of research for their assignments. Yeah, I mean, besides that, I don't know what exactly to tell students. And of course, I would say that do not lose any opportunity to have a hands-on work experience. If you're getting a chance to have actual work experience, it doesn't matter if that job is paid job or unpaid job. Just go for it because that's going to help you a lot. So I would really stress on having a work experience because that is really important. So, like you can see, we have our own data server and we have 30 servers. On those 30 servers, we host virtual machines. Those virtual machines are used by students in their lab session. So our typical job is to make sure that those virtual machines are up to date, according to their lab. We also go through the virtual machines again and again, test them again and again. We go through all the lab documents, make sure that they are up to date, there is no discrepancy in them. We also remain present in the lab during lab is going on, and we mentor students. So while working on a lab, if student has any difficulty, he just approaches us and we help them to get through.
I think the most interesting was IST 101. That's where it all started for me. Susan Bonzi hooked me up with a job here at ITEL. Very young. I was one of the youngest employees hired here, and I've just been learning here ever since.
You've prepared you to do the work here in the ITEL lab?
I would say actually that ITEL prepares me more for the work that I do in my classes. That's part of my job, setting up work for labs, managing this virtual environment behind me, and setting that up prepares me for what I have to do coming this year. And I'm interested in this management position. Is credited to SU as well. Susan Bonzi from day one got me this job here, so without that, I guess, not too much going on.
The reason why we're unique is because we have a long history in training future librarians. We believe that future librarians need to know not only about the theory that they're going to be using in their job, but also practical knowledge. And we believe that our future librarians need to know not just about library science, but about information science. Information science is more broadly based than library science. You have faculty who come from a variety of different backgrounds, different points of view, including social media and social sciences, economics, they all teach as part of our program. And so you're getting a knowledge base that will carry you through from your first job to your last job, that job that you have right before you retire. Our program is also unique in the fact that we have both a campus version of the program and an online version of the program. Our program is also unique because we have a campus version of the program and an online version of the program. So you can come to campus, deal with everything that campus has to offer to you. We sometimes call it death by opportunity. Or stay where you are and take classes online. If you do our online LIS program, you do come for 1 week in the summer, our boot camp, and that's unique. You do 4 credits over the course of 7 days. That allows you to get acclimated to campus, acclimated to your faculty, learn about the people in your cohort, and get a grounding in what the program has to offer for you. The LIS program, the Library and Information Science program at Syracuse University is unique in the fact that we're the first Library and Information Science program, the oldest. So we have a long history in training people to be future librarians. We're always forward thinking, always trying to think of how to make the program better. We're unique in the fact that we have a campus version of the program and an online version of the program. So you can come to campus, do everything that's associated with campus, take classes on campus, get involved with student activities, come to brown bag sessions, whatever it might be, or you can stay home and do the program online. And I have no idea what I said after that. Our Library and Information Science program pairs well with our certificate programs. We have certificate programs, for example, in data science, in social media, and in digital libraries. All 3 of those, and by the way, more certificate programs than just that, pair well with our Library and Information Science program because they bring in the information side of what the iSchool has to offer. And they broaden the job opportunities that you have.
Okay.
One of the nice things about our program is that we really provide a lot of opportunities for you to interact with other professionals. And so that happens during their courses on campus or online, where we bring in practitioners to talk to your class and to interact with you. That happens during brown bag sessions and career sessions that we have on campus and online. And that happens through the fact that we help you attend conferences and other things. So we promote conferences that you might want to go to. We often will ride share and do other things to make conference attendance something that you can do. Help you build your network for the future. And all of those things will help you in your job. All those things will help you in your job search. So one of the nice things about the degree in Library and Information Science is the flexibility of the degree. Many people think about the degree and working in libraries, but we know, even historically, that people don't always work in libraries once they have their MLIS degree. So think about working not only in school libraries and public libraries and academic libraries, but think about working as an analyst for a corporation, as a government analyst, as an information analyst, as a person who's helping to develop new systems, new products, new information search software, new social media software. Just think about the breadth of where information is used and where your skills apply.
I love that.
Well, to help current students find their job, a lot of our services that are offered include resume building. We also have a lot of workshops that we do professional development for. And honestly, career services in Suite 109 is where all the action's at. Because not only has Ernst & Young come in before, but we've also had JP Morgan Chase, Deloitte Consulting, as well as your standard sort of resume review and customizing resume reviews specifically for LIS students, which I really benefited from.
Okay. You are a library science student. You have a lot of friends who are library science students. What have you guys found has been an advantage that Syracuse has in terms of getting you acclimated?
I'd say an advantage that a lot of the library students here have, specifically the LIS program, through career services, is we have not only the customized resume that I told you about specifically for library program, for library students, but also we have the professional development series that is targeted toward LIS. And my favorite of all time LAS program that we have here is the networking breakfast. And that is on the same day as the career fair. And so that's going to be all the local businesses, Polaris Library Systems, as well as more traditional public libraries and academic libraries who come and have, a spread of delicious breakfast delicacies and speak with the local library business owners, as well as program directors. Ooh. Okay, so the Fall Career Fair is extremely beneficial for students because it is the #1 day. It's sort of a frenzy of activity as far as all the students coming in to meet and greet with the heads of a lot of the programs. The businesses that come in are for the IM students, for the LIS students, TNM students, and it's a way to exchange a business card and just to get your face known. And a lot of our recruiting goes on there for not only internships.
What they do?
Something that all students should know is to definitely come to the Career Services Center, because you may not think we have anything to offer right out of undergrad, you may not have that sense, but there is so much just from speaking with one of our advisors. You can get life advice, you can get career advice, you can get resume advice. And we are having an expanded presence on Twitter as well as many other social media. So be sure to follow us there as well.
The best overview I can give of the Information Management graduate program is that it is a combination of skills, both in the form of technology and the management of those skills. And we know that certain types of skills are really important for the actual management of these types of systems and procedures out in organizations of all kinds. And one of those types of skills is project management, so we focus a lot on the idea of managing projects. We know that information in the sense of data and its analysis is important, so we have a lot of focus on the whole data side. And then we make sure that people can interview people about what their system needs are and be able to figure out how to design systems around those. And so we have a combination of analysis courses as well as architecture courses or different kinds of technology application type courses. And overall, the program is designed to make sure that you get the full rounding of tools that you need to go out and manage things properly. If I were to give an overview of the telecommunication and network management program in the graduate level, I would say that our biggest emphasis is on the evaluation of system needs, the understanding of how to create designs for the right kinds of systems that you need to have in order to connect the enterprise properly, to be able to understand how to secure the enterprise and how to manage it appropriately. And I think the most important thing that we want to impart to our students is that this process of connecting is more than just a technological connection. It is in fact understanding that when you connect pieces of the organization together, it's going to affect how the organization works. And that means that there's policies and there's different kinds of approaches that are necessary in order to make sure people understand what that means and how best to take advantage of that. There's also a lot of new leading edges in technology that we have to be abreast of here. And we want to make sure that students understand not only what those technologies are, but what it means in the sense of how the individual organization applies those technologies and has to make use of them. And that can vary in all kinds of different ways, but our telecommunication and network management students have to be able to manage that when they hit the ground running. And our approaches in the classes are to focus on that process. I would say that one of the things that distinguishes us from a number of schools that offer courses like ours is that at Syracuse University we pioneered the concept that information management really draws on two levels of knowledge. You have the level of knowledge of management and you have the level of knowledge of technology. And we were one of the first to bring those two things together. So we're among the most experienced in the nation, if not the world, about how to do that. And we turn out people who end up being in very significant and very responsible positions of management of technology in varieties of different kinds of organizations, government, any kind of large-scale or small-scale institutions. And as a result, we've got a lot of exposure to the different kinds of things that go on in those organizations, and we try to mix that into our classes. One thing we're known for is that we are the real world. And one of the things I always say is that it's not between us and the real world. This is the real world. And our professors are most likely going to be the ones who actually are in the real world managing all that stuff as well. So I think students get a mix of reality along with the theory that they need to be able to apply. and that mixture of the topics that only we can provide because we pioneered that concept. What pleases me about our relationship in the community is that we have employers who actually contact us and want to get involved with our school and be able to participate in a number of different levels. So what's interesting is that not only do we reach out to alumni when they actually go and become employees in organizations and ask them to help us with understanding what they need and what they needed to have when they first got employed there. But we also find that organizations come to us because they understand the unique things that we offer as a school, and they want to take advantage of that in students and or in participation with us. So we have large organizations like a JP Morgan Chase and Fidelity and some of those other types of very large organizations that give us opportunities to work specifically with projects that they have. And we have relationships in which they will sponsor projects for students to work on inside the university, and research projects that involve professors that then students participate in. We also have situations in which those employers come together to actually help us design classes. We're working on classes with Deloitte, we're working on classes with Fidelity, and different kinds of classes that we've already built around things that JP Morgan Chase has helped us with. And so this is an opportunity for us to actually not only provide them with employees, but in the sense of the subject matter, they're helping us figure out what we need to incorporate in that. And we are always getting new organizations coming to us. And we have the privilege of being able to work at very high levels in those organizations. So we have senior VPs, CIOs, CEOs sometimes working with us to build the relationship with the university. And that just translates right into a very practical understanding of how the students can understand what to apply in class and figure out how that's going to make a difference in their careers. What's interesting about our degree programs is that they tend to focus on one particular area or another, and yet at the same time we find that students bring in a variety of different desires to figure out specialties in different kinds of areas in information science. And we've addressed that through the use of our certificates of advanced study. And those topics allow people to specialize in areas that otherwise they might not be able to fit into the degree program majority courses that they have to take. And so one of the things that we ask students to do is to consider heavily things like, for example, if you are a technology person, you might want to be able to focus on something that's analytical like data science in order to be able to specialize in that particular area. So a person who goes through the IM program in the graduate level can also come out with a certificate in data science. We find a lot of information management graduates and even telecommunication and network management graduates have decided that they also want to have security in their background and risk management. And so a certificate of advanced study in that is an appropriate kind of a pairing. But we also find, for example, that there are certificates in e-government. So one of the things that students can do with that is to go out and manage pieces in government of having interaction with the systems and the public in regard to that. And so that allows that. We know that knowledge management and the understanding of how to categorize information is important, and so even the certificates of advanced study in the library science areas apply to people in our degrees in terms of the information management and telecommunication and network management because it's strongly associated with the understanding of how to categorize and retrieve and be able to process that knowledge. So we really find that the certificates of advanced study allow people to cross boundaries. And we're a faculty of one here at the iSchool. We have no boundaries between subject areas in the sense that we all meet as a faculty, we all take care of each other in terms of that, and our faculty teach amongst these different programs. So that allows students to float among our programs as well. And we're one of the only universities that has that kind of a characteristic, and we think it's an advantage to the students who come here.
Hello, my name is Ben Oliver. I was a graduate from the iSchool in '95. And the direction the iSchool has taken, particularly over these past few, maybe 5 years, is pretty dramatic. And they give you a broad overview of what it takes to become an entrepreneur and successful in the tech industry. and I'm honored to be a graduate, and I'm thrilled to see what comes next from the iSchool. Thank you.
So the iSchool by far is probably one of the best schools at Syracuse University. The alumni connection, the professors that you'll have, the kids that you'll meet will all drive you to become a better person than you are already, not only through technology, but just in life in general. You'll learn things that you would never thought existed and different ways to think about things, and that will leave you here being a better person.
All right, my experience with the iSchool has been fantastic. I've been able to work on a huge variety of different projects that span a ton of different areas. One of the favorite areas I've been working in has been with social media and with exploring data visualizations and different ways we can show people how technology is really impacting their lives. And this stuff is something I never expected myself to be working on coming into the iSchool. You never think 4 years from now you'll be working on all these really cool projects. You just kind of come in expecting to go to school, go to classes, learn some stuff, meet some people. But the impact I've been able to be a part of has been incredible.
The Syracuse University School of Information Studies with my master's degree in Library and Information Science and School Media. And I've had a fabulous 2 years here in Syracuse. I'm ready to take everything I've learned about combining information and technology with teaching and how to reach today's modern 21st century learners and motivate them to go out into the world and do great things. And I'm going to start doing that really soon and be a rockstar school librarian. So that's my goal in life.
I am graduating today. I finished my classes in December, and the iSchool at Syracuse University has been an amazing experience. From everything from the classes and the professors, the faculty and staff, as well as the opportunities here. So being involved in the Nexus Research Lab was absolutely great. We were able to have a social media conference, the 140 Qs conference, and just all around being with the students, the staff, and the faculty here has been an amazing experience.
Hi, my name is Ayush Arabi, and I've been a student of Syracuse University in the School of Information Studies for the past 2 years, and it has been an amazing journey out here. Like, I'm from India, and having an opportunity to come here and do my masters was just a terrific journey for me. I got to learn a lot of things, and it was really fun to do it.
Well, the residency was a major component in my decision to come here. iSchool celebrating its 20th anniversary of distance learning, and they know how to do it. Other programs offer online programs, distance learning, but this one, the residency builds the glue that makes the distance program work. You develop relationships, very strong relationships, with your cohort, your classmates, as well as with faculty members that I think carry throughout the program and frankly into your career. I mean, from the very first day, we begin working on our career process and a conscious process of, hey, what am I going to be doing? How does all of this fit together? All of it counts, all of it matters. How do we put that together? And that's really, really attractive, and having been here for the week, I can see that in action. Syracuse iSchool, this LIS program, it's highly participative. It's highly collaborative. Everyone is involved. And when you first come and visit, and I visited a couple times this spring, my initial reaction was, this is its reputation, but you experience it and it's almost, is this real? Because it's so pervasive that it takes a little while to realize that almost everyone has internalized this. It's just everyone is hugely supportive. Everyone, collaboration is a way of life here, and this is the way that they want to model our professional practice. And this is the best possible approach to what we're going to experience in a real-world professional setting in the libraries that most of us will be working in. So, again, there's a tremendous appeal for me to that, to want to come here initially. You know, other distance programs, you can get kind of isolated. You can do the program entirely on your own, and I think that's just missing such an enormous richness of what's possible and what's valuable about our graduate education as librarians. So it was great.
So, just kind of last question.
I'm from Southwest Massachusetts. I live in the Berkshires, and for the last 3 years, I've been assistant librarian at a private boarding school, high school, and I really enjoy working with teenagers. And in all likelihood, and I'm just taking a guess now, that I'll be doing something along those lines. The great thing about a prep school is that it's not purely a school library. It's got components of an academic library, like a small college, to it. It also serves as a public library to our community. The faculty, staff, their children all utilize our library. You know, we're in a rural community, so I get to do many things. That presents challenges, but it's also enormously rewarding.
Lana Kang. Sure. So some of the things I experienced here were, I thought the most helpful thing was really meeting my classmates. It's one thing interacting with them online on discussion posts, but it's another, and even just reading their bios, but it's another thing actually interacting with the person in a more natural way, I guess, and really seeing, oh, this is, you know, my classmate who was commenting on my stuff, and now I can see, well, this is the type of person they are, this is how they react to things I say, and actually get a visual of how that might work. Okay, sure. So the poster project I thought was really helpful because it brought the group aspect to the project. So you really had to collaborate and plan out what each person was going to do, you know, when we were going to meet. And you set expectations of each other, and you tried really hard to make sure that you didn't fail in meeting those expectations. The great part of the poster project, I thought, was that the topic was really interesting. So, and you got to choose somewhat your topic. So, you know, everyone did their own research, and then you brought it together into one group presentation where everyone worked together to really give, to convince people that this is what I learned, and hopefully, you know, I am imparting this knowledge to you in an interesting way. So I thought that was great. Sorry, I'm sweating.
The Learning Commons is not just an open space that we put a bunch of things in. It's a learning space, and therefore, learning is a power of empowerment as well. That is your stewards of knowledge. Stewards of knowledge are not hoarders of knowledge. They're not organizers of knowledge. They're transfers, they're teachers, they're having people able to realize what they can be. And that is what makes this the most noble profession, I think, on the planet. And that is what you guys are all, as I have seen you this week demonstrate, prepared to become and prepared to push forward. I thank you for your time because I learned a hell of a lot from when we had these interactions. And you guys have been fabulous teachers.
We're here at the NASA Hackathon, and I decided to use the Leap, which is a controller that can see where your hands are, to make a game where you could make planets and then create a universe out of all these little planets you made in 3D space and figure out how all the planets work together. It's a pretty complex problem. There's lots of math involved, but it's really fun to see some early results.
Cool.
The point of this is really to find a way to use this new technology that's in the Leap to interact with your computer in ways you never really could before. A mouse, you get kind of a 2D plane to work on, but with a Leap you have a third dimension, and it allows a level of interaction that there really isn't any other way to do. I mean, you see Iron Man or Minority Report, and this is that stuff, but we're working on ways that you can actually use it right now.
Sweet.
For an extra thing, it's for just wanting to work and use emerging technologies and being kind of the first ones there, the first ones at the door signed up to bring these technologies out into the world and get people's minds going, not only on how they can use them and how they can build on them, but also what the possibilities are for creating things that you never could before. And that's really what excites me is, yes, I can make a game based on planets, but can I make a game based on planets that you could have never made before?
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. And that's why I'm here on Sunday. School, I think, really, more than any place else that I've ever been, has seen technologies and doesn't wait for the curriculum to update to let you get your hands on them. I think the iSchool is really good at seeing what's out there and bringing it to the students so that they can access it before anyone else, and not letting the typical stagnancy of a university or a syllabus or anything like that get in the way of just learning cool stuff. That's something that I think the iSchool does amazingly well, is letting students have the flexibility to work on things that they don't even necessarily know how they're going to pan out yet. They just know that this is something cool, this is something our students should be seeing.
Beautiful.
Opportunities like this for students to get together and work hands-on are what we try to have as often as we can at the iSchool with partners like NASA and today's NASA Space Apps Challenge. We're trying to invent technologies for the future of space exploration, and it's perfect for us to partner with the Nexus Lab here at the iSchool, which is studying experimental technologies. And so we are going to see what we can come up with in this hackathon-style event to help NASA with their goals.
I get to hear a lot about interesting companies and hear some compelling stories from founders, and it pretty much exceeded all of my expectations. All of the companies that we visited were so transparent, and so coming out of this I feel like I learned so much about A, what it's really like to work at a startup, and B, more specifically, what it's like to work at a startup in the tech industry in New York City, which is something that if you read the news you're starting to hear a lot more about. And I'm particularly lucky because I just graduated from Syracuse about 5 days ago with a degree in magazine journalism and from the iSchool. And I'm going to be working in the fall at Business Insider under the technology vertical. And so this was like the best crash course I could ever ask for in technology and business and startup news. So not only was that inspiring, but I'm really excited because hearing from all these founders and all these really passionate people involved in startups, I realized that working at a startup sounds like one of the best career paths you could probably choose, from the agility that you have within the company to the ability to see your impact when you're working there, and just like do so many different things and constantly be learning. I'm kind of coming away from this trip with the understanding that, yeah, I'm going to be doing what I want to do by writing about technology and startups for the next however months at Business Insider, but then I feel inspired that maybe I'll start my own startup one day, and who knows, maybe even create my own magazine. So overall, I guess this experience has just been really influential, not only in my understanding of what it's like to be in the New York City tech industry, but also just like how I see myself being projected into the future. So it was really rewarding.
Cool.
So we really visited a very diverse array of companies on this trip. Everything from charity water and nonprofit to the very popular Foursquare. We visited Reddit, Guild Group, Shapeways, the 3D printing place. Today we had the huge honor of visiting Bitly, a really cool, what once was only link shortening, but now is this whole bigger company that is trying to take on data analyzation and helping brands. So just like the diversity of the companies we visited is really interesting. And every morning, we also got to talk to SU alum who've either founded their own companies or worked in startups in some way. So,
yeah, so I think this trip was a great experience to get to see kind of the inside scoop on all of this. Being a part of different opportunities with iSchool, specifically things like RVD, which they're a big part of, and competitions on campus. We kind of do things like this on campus as far as trying to launch our own businesses, but getting to actually see what you need to make it happen. Hearing from the founders and from people that work in these locations about what it really takes to make these businesses happen. Funding and different types of acquisition. It was really, really helpful. I really enjoyed getting to see all the different spots. It was really cool seeing, you get to see photos, but to actually be inside and talk to the founders and just hear their stories was absolutely amazing. So it was a great opportunity. Really, really glad I did it, and I think it's something that all students should strive to be a part of. Something that was I felt was really empowering and motivating to me was hearing Wiley talk about single platform, and more specifically about his struggles and how he got to that point. I guess a lot of times you'll hear about these stories and these companies succeeding, but you don't really know what's what it took to get up to that point, and like I said, what their challenges were and how much they struggled. But hearing Wiley kind of talk about, basically saving up pennies to save up sandwiches, to eat during those first few months was unbelievable. And look where he is now. He's successfully raised millions of dollars for his company, and they're in a really good place right now. So,
cool. Elsener. I work for Fidelity Investments in their asset management IT organization. I've been a board member of the iSchool here for about 8 years now, and very happy to serve. One of the things that I really like about the program here that Liz and the staff have done is the excursions that the students do out to. I was out in the Silicon Valley last year for that one, and now up here in New York. And I think it brings something very unique to the school and to the students. And I think one of the things that really distinguishes the school, the iSchool, from many other schools with respect to how they really think about the program and integrate that into the community and what the students are really looking for. And I'm very impressed with it. And this is just one example of many on how the university is distinguishing itself. So I'm very happy to be part of this.
Great. So why is this experience coming to New York important for the students of the iSchool?
Oh, good. I can do that. So I'm just going to jump into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Go for it.
So I think the New York experience is different from the Silicon Valley because you're putting it into a completely different context, a different ecosystem. New York City provides different advantages they're both good, but they're different. And to see this compared to how it's done in Silicon Valley, I think provides a different perspective. And I think there's nothing wrong or right. It's just what's right for the student that's trying to find the right career here. And New York has a lot to offer as well. So I'm glad we're here, and I look for this program to kind of expand as it needs to.
To the iSchool, because it enables us to help the dean really shape the future of the school. She's doing amazing work. I really believe in her vision for the school, and I really think that we're going in a very positive direction. It's wonderful to be here with the students who are having this amazing experience with Entretech. I wish I could be part of it actually, because they're getting such exposure to all these amazing companies, and not only are they visiting companies, they're actually being hosted by either the founders or top level executives, so they're getting the real behind the scenes what happens within these companies. And these are companies you read about, that whose products you use, the ones that you really kind of interact with, and so they're really getting an opportunity to understand how these companies work. And I think it's really a tremendous and unique opportunity for them to understand how to start a business and sort of what it takes to grow and scale a business. And I think that what's really unique about this program is that not only are the students getting a great education in the classroom, but they're also getting through these types of events such as Entretech or Asia Tech, Eurotech. They're getting exposure to business in real time and getting the behind the scenes look at what's going on. And some of them have even secured internships as a result of these unique experiences. And I've got to tell you, in this economy, to be able to secure an internship, just by virtue of the fact that you're in the right place at the right time is amazing, versus having to go through an HR department, which may not even get the best internship. This was kind of tailor-made for them. So I think that's really quite exciting. Anything else?
So you're an iSchool alum yourself. Okay. How did the school prepare you to take on the world and your job today?
Sure. I love the iSchool program. I graduated a long time ago, but what was amazing is the year that I graduated, most of my friends had to go to get waitressing jobs because we were in a bad economy when I graduated 20 years ago. But I had 5 job offers. And so, I ended up taking a job in Massachusetts and ended up having a really quite an amazing career. And the thing for me is that I'm not like the most techie of people. What it is that I understand how to use technology to be able to make decisions. And in my case, I work with nonprofit organizations, so I help them to understand how they can leverage technology to better engage with their supporters, to be able to raise money, to build their brands. And so that's how I come at it. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity I had as an iSchool student, and that's why I serve today as an iSchool advisor, because I want to be able to pay it forward, to be able to help shape the experience of the students who are in the school today or in the future. Can I say that again? The reason why it's such an honor to be part of the iSchool Advisory Board is that it provides me with an opportunity to be able to give back to the school, as well as to help shape the direction in which it's going. This is really, really a very special place, and I really feel that, you know, the more critical technology is to the way that all of our lives are. Technology is much more central to the way that we live our lives today, irrespective of whatever industry we're in. And so, the iSchool is going to become a more central part of the university, I believe, in terms of more and more students really taking our courses, whether or not they're enrolled in our programs. They're definitely going to want to engage with our courses on one level or another, and so it's exciting to see where that's going, in the direction in which the iSchool is built.
Perfect. Great. And whenever you're ready.
Well, for me, one of the big differences of the iSchool, it comes down to the people, and it's the faculty, the administration, and the quality and the character of the students that they attract. It really helps to make a difference in the experience for all the students, and they have just a wonderful, wonderful faculty that I can tell you from personal experience, once a student or a prospective student has the opportunity to visit the iSchool and meets some of the faculty, they're sold.
Great. You want to talk about why this experience is unique?
Yeah,
like having the students meet you and stuff like that?
Anything you may have seen in the last day or so from students that we have brought down to this immersion experience and
do you want
positive benefits.
What about talking about this and Spring Break in Silicon Valley?
Yep.
Or just
that's fine. Yeah.
Two of the programs that the iSchool offers and that our board is very proud to support are Spring Break in Silicon Valley and Entretech in New York City. And it's these opportunities provide students an experience where they really do get to see scholarship in action, where they visit school or visit companies of all different sizes, from startups, two-person operations in somebody's garage, to some of the largest companies like Google, and get to have just a variety of experiences that really informs them about what the opportunities are for them when they leave school.
Great.
Excellent. I think that's great.
Yeah, so as a former student myself, what you learn in the university really prepares you for either whether you want to start your own company or at least be involved in a young company, in a startup. It's very different from what you would traditionally learn, say, if you wanted to work for a big corporation like a Microsoft or an IBM. And those skills, I think, put you at a big advantage. It makes you very attractive to any startup or any kind of place you want to work for. And furthermore, the connection between New York City and Syracuse is incomparable, because New York City is becoming a big hub, and there's just a pipeline of people. Most people from SU come right down. There's connections. There's a huge alumni network in New York City that unrivals anywhere, because you've got all the media people in the journalism school, you've got the tech people, and it creates kind of a network that you can't really replicate back over West or anywhere else. So why do I think it's a valuable experience for students is, I met with some of them the other morning, and it allows them to see an environment that not a lot of schools allow them to see, which is an alternative to the traditional path that most business schools or most IT schools teach students. It allows them to see firsthand what it's like working in a fast-paced environment, what it's like working with other young people, what it's like working in a business that's uncertain but gives you a lot of responsibility and allows you to learn a lot on the spot. And I think it's important for students to be able to see that firsthand, talk to people who've been through it, because I think that's the last push a lot of them need to really follow something I think they want to follow.
Well, I'm involved with the Alumni Association, so I could tell them from that perspective, yeah. Sure. So it's very, very important that students come to visit us in New York and to meet fellow alumni. We can offer them very, very unique opportunities and experiences and understandings that we've learned throughout our time here and in New York and from Syracuse, and how we've evolved. And it's important for students to learn exactly what we went through so that they can involve themselves in as many experiences as we have.
See scholarship in action, where they visit companies of all different sizes, from startups, two-person operations in somebody's garage, to some of the largest companies like Google,
and get to have just a variety of experiences that really informs them about what the opportunities are for them when they leave school.
There's a very diverse array of companies on this trip. Everything from charity water and nonprofit to the very popular Foursquare. We visited Reddit, everyone knows Reddit, Shapeways, the 3D printing place. Today we had the huge honor of visiting Bitly, a really cool, what once was only link shortening, but now is this whole bigger company that is trying to take on data analyzation and helping brands. Overall, I guess this experience has just been really influential, not only in my understanding of what it's like to be in the New York City tech industry, but also just like how I see myself being trajected into the future. So it was really rewarding.
So I think the New York experience is different from the Silicon Valley because you're putting it into a completely different context, a different ecosystem. New York City provides different advantages that Silicon, they're both good, but they're different. And to see this compared to how it's done in Silicon Valley, I think provides a different perspective. And I think there's nothing wrong or right. It's just what's right for the student that's trying to find the right career here. And New York has a lot to offer as well. So I'm glad we're here, and I look for this program to kind of expand as it needs to.
So as a former student myself, what you learn in the university really prepares you for either whether you want to start your own company or at least be involved in a young company in a startup. It's very different from what you would traditionally learn, say, if you wanted to work for a big corporation like a Microsoft or an IBM. And those skills, I think, put you at a big advantage. It makes you very attractive to any startup or any kind of place you want to work for. I think it's important for students to be able to see that firsthand, talk to people who've been through it, because I think that's the last push a lot of them need to really follow something I think they want to follow.